This is going to be my quickest video because I'm going to ask ChatGPT some questions about ham radio. And I'll read out their answers, with no thinking or input from me required at all. Our first question is, what are some activities that a beginner to ham radio can do? And the answer is, there are many activities that a beginner to ham radio can do to get started. Here are a few ideas. Get a technician license. The first step for many beginners is to obtain a technician class amateur radio license. This license grants access to the most popular VHF and UHF frequencies and modes. Number 2. Participate in nets. Nets are scheduled times when groups of hams get on air to chat. Joining a net can be a great way to make contacts and learn more about the hobby. 3. Build a kit. There are many kits available that allow you to build your own amateur radio equipment. This can be a fun and educational way to learn about electronics and get hands-on experience with ham radio. 4. Join a club. Joining a local ham radio club can be a great way to meet other hams, learn more about the hobby, and participate in activities and events. 5. Work some DX. DX refers to long-distance contacts, often with hams in other countries. With the right equipment and propagation conditions, even a beginner can work some DX. 6. Experiment with antennas. Antennas are a critical part of any radio station. Experimenting with different antenna designs can be a fun and educational way to learn about propagation and antenna theory. And 7. Participate in contests. Ham radio contests can be a great way to improve your operating skills and make contacts with other hams. There are contests for all levels of experience and skill. Remember, the most important thing is to get on the air and start making contacts. Don't be afraid to ask for help or advice from more experienced hams, and have fun exploring the world of amateur radio. Okay, so how can I get my ham radio license? Well, ChatGPT responds, to get your ham radio license, you need to follow these basic steps. 1. Study for the exam. The first step is to study the material that will be covered in the exam. You can find study materials online or through a local ham radio club. There are 3 classes of licenses in the United States: Technician, General, and Extra. Each class builds on the previous one and allows access to more frequencies and modes. 2. Find an exam session. Once you feel ready, you can locate a testing session near you. You can find a list of upcoming exam sessions in the American Radio Relay League ARRL website, or you can contact a local ham radio club for information. 3. Take the exam. The exam consists of multiple choice questions and covers topics such as regulations, operating procedures, and electronics theory. The exam fee is typically around $15. Once you pass the exam, you will be issued a license. 4. Get on the air. With your new license, you can start using your radio to make contacts with other hams. There are many different modes and frequencies available, so experiment and find what you enjoy most. Remember, the most important thing is to have fun and enjoy the hobby. Don't be afraid to ask for help or advice from more experienced hams. Good luck on your journey to becoming a licensed ham radio operator. Okay, so question number 3. Who are some famous people who have been ham radio operators? Ham radio has a long and storied history, and many famous people have been involved in the hobby over the years. Here are a few examples. Walter Cronkite, the legendary news anchor, was an avid ham radio operator with the call sign KB2GSD. 2. King Hussein of Jordan. The late King of Jordan was a ham radio enthusiast with the call sign JY1. Joe Walsh, the musician and former member of the Eagles, is an active ham radio operator with the call sign WB6ACU. Hiram Percy Maximum. Maximum was one of the co-founders of the American Radio Relay League, the largest organisation of ham radio operators in the United States. Sir Winston Churchill, the former British Prime Minister, was a ham radio operator with the call sign G6WZ. Was that right? I didn't know that. 6. Marion Brando, the late actor Marlon Brando. The late actor was an avid ham radio operator with the call sign FO5GJ. Steve Ford, a former editor of QST magazine, is a well-known ham radio operator with a call sign WB8IMY. These are just a few examples of the many famous people who have been involved in ham radio over the years. The hobby has a rich history and continues to attract new enthusiasts every day. Now, still on somewhat famous people, question number 4. What movies have featured ham radio? And we're getting an answer. Ham radio has been featured in several movies over the years. Here's a few examples. Frequency. In 2000, the science fiction thriller stars Jim Caviezel as a ham radio operator who discovers a way to communicate with his deceased father, played by Dennis Quaid, via ham radio. The Sum of All Fears, 2002. In this action thriller based on the Tom Clancy novel, a ham radio operator plays a key role in stopping a terrorist attack. The Iron Giant, 1999. In this animated film, a boy communicates with a giant robot via a ham radio. Radio Days, 1987. The Woody Allen film takes place in the 1940s and features a scene in which a family listens to a ham radio broadcast. Independence Day, 1996. In this science fiction blockbuster, a group of ham radio operators helps coordinate the defense against an alien invasion. These are just a few examples of movies that have featured ham radio. The hobby has a rich cultural history and continues to inspire creative works across a variety of mediums. Okay, question number 5. I am a maker in electronics. How can I combine this interest with ham radio? As a maker in electronics, there are many ways you can combine your interests with ham radio. Here's a few ideas. Number 1, build your own radio. You can design and build your own radio from scratch or modify an existing one to suit your needs. This can be a fun and challenging project that allows you to learn more about electronics and ham radio. 2, experiment with antennas. Antennas are a critical part of any radio station. As a maker, you can experiment with different antenna designs and materials to improve your signal and optimize your station for specific frequencies or modes. 3, design and build accessories. There are many accessories that can enhance your ham radio experience, such as keyers, filters, and amplifiers. As a maker, you can design and build your own accessories to customize your station and improve its performance. 4, use software-defined radios. Software-defined radios, SDRs, are radios that use software to process signals rather than hardware. As a maker, you can experiment with SDRs to develop new applications and techniques for ham radio. And 6, participate in contests. Ham radio contests can be a great way to put your electronic skills to the test. By designing and building your own stations and accessories, you can optimize your setup for the contest and improve your chances of winning. Remember, the most important thing is to have fun and enjoy the hobby. Don't be afraid to experiment and try new things, and always be willing to learn from other hams. What do ham radio clubs do? No, I don't like that. I might reword the question. What are some activities ham radio clubs do? Ham radio clubs offer a wide range of activities for their members to participate in. Here are some common activities that ham radio clubs do. Contesting. Ham radio contests are events in which hams compete to make as many contacts as possible within a specified period of time. Clubs may organise their own contests or participate in national or international contests. 2. Field Day is an annual event which hams set up portable stations in the field and attempt to make as many contacts as possible over a 24-hour period. This event is a great way to practice emergency communication skills and test equipment. 3. Public service events. Ham radio operators often provide communication support for public service events such as parades, marathons, and bike races. Clubs may organise and coordinate these events and provide training for members. 4. Educational programs. Ham radio clubs may offer classes, workshops, and presentations on topics such as radio theory, antenna design, and operating procedures. 5. Social events. Ham radio clubs often organise social events such as picnics, dinners, and holiday parties. These events are a great way for members to get to know each other and build relationships within the club. And 6. Community service. I've already mentioned public service, but anyway, community service. Ham radio clubs may participate in community service projects such as helping to set up communication networks during disasters, working with local emergency management agencies, or supporting charitable causes. These are just a few examples of the many activities that ham radio clubs offer. Clubs are a great way to meet new hams, learn new skills, and get involved in the hobby. Okay, let's get to some specifics. What is a good starter transceiver for a beginner to ham radio? There are many good starter transceivers available for beginners to ham radio. Here are a few options. Yaesu FT857D. This is a popular portable transceiver that covers the HF, VHF and UHF bands. It is compact, easy to use and has a wide range of features. ICOM 7300. This is a more advanced transceiver that offers a large colour touchscreen display and advanced signal processing features. It's a great option for those who want to experiment with digital modes. Kenwood TS480HX. This is a high-power HF transceiver that offers up to 200 watts of output power. It's a good option for those who want to work DX or participate in contests. Baofeng UV5R. This is a low-cost handheld transceiver that covers the VHF and UHF bands. It's a good option for those who want to get started in ham radio without investing a lot of money. And then Yaesu FT60R. This is another handheld transceiver that covers the VHF and UHF bands. It is rugged, reliable, and easy to use. Remember, the best starter transceiver for you will depend on your interests, budget, and goals. Be sure to do your research and choose a transceiver that meets your needs and will help you achieve your ham radio goals. Another question. Tell me about ham radio operating activities I can do away from home. ham radio operators enjoy a variety of activities that they can do away from home. Here are some examples. Portable operations. Many hams enjoy setting up portable stations in parks, mountains, or other scenic locations. This can be a fun way to get outside, explore new places, and operate in a different environment. 2. Summits on the air. SOTA is a popular activity that involves hiking to mountain summits and making contacts from the top. It's a great way to combine ham radio with outdoor recreation and physical fitness. 3. Islands on the air. IOTA is an activity that involves making contacts with hams operating from islands around the world. Hams can participate in expeditions to remote islands or operate from islands near their home. 4. De-expeditions. A de-expedition is a trip to a remote or exotic location for the purpose of making contacts with hams in other countries. De-expeditions can be expensive and require a lot of planning, but they can be very rewarding for those who enjoy working DX. 6. Mobile operations. Hams can operate from their cars, trucks, or RVs while travelling. Mobile operations require special antennas and equipment, but they can be a great way to stay connected while on the road. 6. Contest expeditions. Many hams enjoy travelling to other countries or states to participate in radio contests. This can be a fun way to meet other hams and compete in a friendly competition. These are just a few examples of the many operating activities that hams can do away from home. Whatever your interests, there's likely to be an operating activity that will appeal to you and allow you to have fun while pursuing your hobby. Now, what are some simple ham radio antennas I can make? There are several simple ham radio antennas that you can make with basic tools and materials. Here are a few examples. Dipole antenna. A dipole antenna is a simple wire antenna that can be made for a specific frequency or band. It consists of two pieces of wire of equal length, each connected to the center conductor and shield of a coaxial cable. The antenna is typically mounted horizontally between two supports such as trees or poles. 2. Ground plane antenna. A ground plane antenna is a type of vertical antenna that is easy to construct and has good performance. It consists of a vertical radiator element and several horizontal radials that are attached to the base of the antenna. J-pole antenna. The J-pole antenna is a simple omnidirectional antenna that can be made from a single piece of coaxial cable. The antenna consists of a half-wave radiator and a quarter-wave matching section and is typically fed with coaxial cable. Vertical half-wave dipole antenna. This is a vertical antenna that is easy to construct and has good performance. It consists of a half-wave radiator element and a ground plane consisting of several radial wires or rods. Don't know if I agree with that. 5. Long wire antenna. A long wire antenna is a simple wire antenna that can be made for a wide range of frequencies. It consists of a long wire that is supported by one or more poles or trees and is typically fed with a balun to match the antenna impedance of the coaxial cable. These are just a few examples of the many simple ham radio antennas that you can make. When building your own antennas, it's important to follow good construction practices and use appropriate materials and tools. Additionally, it's important to always verify the antenna is tuned to the desired frequency and adjust it as necessary. So that's enough. That's ChatGPT. I think I've asked 9 questions. If you want to know more about getting started in amateur radio, then there's my book, which is Ham Radio Get Started. That's for American readers, or in Australia, there's the Australian Ham Radio Handbook. For more information, visit my website, vk3ye.com.